All right.
Here we go. We're live at the 2015 Suncoast Open. I'm Laura McCormick with the WRT, and joining me on the microphone is Jeremy Best.
Hello, everyone.
We have a great quarterfinal here today. Starting out strong, Jake Bredenbeck there in the flashy blue shorts against Christian Longoria.
0 serve 0.
Now this should be a really interesting matchup. We have Jake Bredenbeck, who floats between number 1, 2, and 3 here on the WRT, against up-and-coming junior Christian Longoria, who is the current 16 and under junior national Mexico world champion. Excuse me, junior national champion. And world champion, I'm told. And he's a bit of a loose cannon. I mean, it's funny, he's young, he plays with no fear. And it gets pretty frustrating when you're playing against a 17-year-old, I imagine, out there.
Yeah, I suppose if you're worried about losing to a younger person, but you know, a lot of guys in their 17s and 18s get very good, and they can you know, be very up and down in their play. It's just, you know, mental toughness.
Yeah.
But Christian has been competing for a while in tournaments, so he's developed some mental strength that, you know, maybe the average 17-year-old wouldn't have.
Bredenbeck seeded number 2 here at the Suncoast Open, and Christian Longoria seeded number 7.
I'm interested to see how Longoria does here in the next couple years. Maybe if he adopts a coach or somebody that can kind of help him get into, you know, what I would think would maybe help his game would be, you know, a fitness trainer.
Sure.
One of the points between about 15, 16, and 18 is, you know, kind of developing the muscular stature of an adult. And once he gains that and loses a little bit of that young baby fat, so to speak, I think Christian Longoria is going to be quite a contender in the whole racquetball community.
Absolutely.
2-0.
He has a good leader in the family. He is the younger brother of Paola Longoria, the current number 1 women's. Current number 1 woman.
2-0.
That was an awkward phrasing, but number 1 woman in the world. Why don't we say that? Bredenbeck looking pretty solid there from the center of the court.
Good shot.
5 serve 0.
Well, Bredenbeck on a bit of a run here, yeah.
Yeah, he's coming
Strong
out to
start.
a big lead here. Christian hasn't quite warmed up, it doesn't seem like.
0 serves 5. Serve 0.
And the winner of this match today will continue on to the semifinals later tonight at 5 p.m., where they will play against David Bobby Horn, who defeated Anthony Herrera in the previous match. Nice return from Bredenbeck, puts him back in the service box.
5-0.
Ref's calling no hinder.
6-0.
Now, Jeremy, you played Jake Bredenbeck in the round 16s,
yes,
and in the previous match, we were talking a little bit about Bredenbeck's playing style. What's your take on Jake Bredenbeck now that you've been inside the court with him?
I've actually got to play Jake twice. Played him at a WRT December tournament last year, where
they're going to replay that point.
And Jake is definitely got, you know, a lot of power reserved up with inside of him, and he can release it at different points in the match that are unexpected. So he goes big sometimes, he goes medium sometimes. He's a little bit hard to predict. He's very fast, unusually. He looks a little casual when he walks around, but he has a very quick start off. And so I enjoyed playing him, and I look forward to playing him in the future. I believe he beat me 7 and 8.
5 serves 1.
6 and 7.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty handily. And but just great power, great speed.
1 serves 5.
Really like to see where he comes up here in the next year or two, where his game develops and goes.
Yeah, it's been nice to see how quickly he's adapted, and I think being at the top is really keeping him on his toes as he keeps training. I know he's been out to train with the WRT in the San Francisco Bay Area. And
he had
he's
another
been
very
working
big
on
win.
his
Excuse
backhand.
me,
And
a very big win this year at the U.S.
5 serves
Nationals.
1.
Got
He
first
did.
place at the U.S. National Singles Open. Actually, a U.S. team qualifier.
Yep, he went and represented for Team USA at the Pan American Games back in July up in Toronto. And he comes from quite the racquetball family as well. Both of his parents are in the Racquetball Hall of Fame.
1 serves
His
5.
brother is on the Junior National USA champion right now, Sam Bredenbeck. So big racquetball family. Racquetball's a big part of his life, and
Wow,
I know
didn't know
he's
that.
happy and fortunate to be playing racquetball full time here with the
5 serves
WRT.
1. Skip.
Jake talking to himself there a little bit.
6 serves 1.
It's always interesting to think you got to be your own coach, your own cheerleader, your own pusher when you're out there.
Yeah. It's one thing great about solo sports is you can dictate your outcome. You know, you don't have to rely on a team or a coach. Although you need a coach, I recommend people, you know, get help and instruction. But I know when you're playing on sports, you have a lot of politics. You could be the better player and still be sitting the bench as far as, you know, baseball or football is concerned. But with racquetball, you're never on the bench. Unless you lose.
Let me put you on the bench next to me. No.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm just saying. Then you get to
7-1.
analyze the game in a new way and give these guys some of your own thoughts.
Well, racquetball is a great sport, and I really hope that in the future that it will continue to grow and somehow get taken flight here in the United States more so than it has been in times past. Someone told me recently, you know, they were very much in the racquetball community in the 80s and 90s. They said there were some 10 or 12 million active racquetball players.
Yeah.
And they say as of today, of course there's no exact census, but somewhere in the 2 to 3 million. So it's definitely regressed. And, you know, I believe the average tournaments years ago might have been somewhere in the 600, 300 to 600 neighborhood.
Wow.
Now today it's in the 100 to 200.
Yeah. Well, we certainly want you all to help us keep racquetball alive. We have a special contest. If you share the live streaming link on your Facebook and Twitter, tell all your friends that you're watching live racquetball right now, and you tag at World Arball Tour, you'll be automatically entered to win a free gearbox giveaway. You can find those links pinned to the top of our Facebook page if you go to facebook.com/World Arball Tour.
Looks like Christian's getting a little bit pumped up and back into the match here.
Ooh. There's not much you can do with that, huh?
No, not at all.
9 serves 2.
9-2. Yeah, Christian's got quite an uphill to climb here.
10 serves 2.
I think it's great what the WRT is doing with getting a lot of up-and-coming players, spreading these tournaments and news and things through the social medias and the internet. I believe it's going to really help boost the amount of players.
Yeah, we appreciate that as we open up opportunities for young and upcoming players to play more racquetball.
Absolutely.
Help share it with everybody, and of course coming to these events is great. Getting to play and meet with the local people and get to know more of the racquetball communities. It's been quite an experience traveling around with the WRT. Oh, looks like they're going to get a replay.
2 serves 10.
Tough break for Longoria there. We were talking a little bit about mental strength, especially in the younger players. And it looks like he's getting a little frustrated. Looks like Brent sent a warning out there.
Good shot.
We take a look at Christian Longoria's path to get here. In round 32s, he played against Pete Soltrin, defeating him 5-4. And then in round 16s, he played against fellow San Luis Potosian, Gerardo Franco, defeating him 12-4. And now he's facing number 2, Jake Bredenbeck. The winner of this match will continue on tonight to play in the semifinals against David Bobby Horn at 5 p.m.
Be an interesting match, definitely. Power versus control.
Yeah.
Both of these players actually here on the court are power players.
Yeah, Longoria hits really hard, and it's funny, you don't expect it. He doesn't have the same physicality as Bredenbeck, obviously.
Yes.
But I think he has a lot of that natural racquetball talent, and as you were saying, it's a really pivotal moment for him to maybe get a coach and a trainer and really start to be able to capitalize on his natural abilities.
The average racquetball player doesn't realize that, eating right and working out with weights and doing plyometrics and explosive training is very much a big part of racquetball. Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, I know we were talking about David Bobby Horn changing a lot of that in the last year, and that's really worked for him.
10-4.
He's mentioned cutting out meat and really changing the way that he works out, and it's all important. It's not just about the angles
really
and the power. It's a full package.
I remember when I was a junior, starting to work out with weights and running and different things like that really advanced my game.
11 serves 4.
Sometimes you get frustrated as a player that you're not peaking anymore than where you've been, and then you start doing that, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what I needed. Score is 12 serving 2. Jake's leading.
Timeout.
All right, looks like Longoria is going to go ahead and take a timeout as we leave here 13-2 in game 1. We'll be right back in just a moment. And we're back live in game 1 of our second quarterfinal here today between Jake Bredenbeck, who we see out there in the blue shorts, and Christian Longoria. I'm Laura McCormick with the WRT, and Jeremy Best is joining me on the mic today. Wanted to give a special shout out to Dr. Melissa Harmon, who was treating Christian Longoria yesterday. Longoria has been traveling on the Gearbox bus for the last 2 events and had a bit of a stiff neck. Doctor saw him kind of awkwardly moving around yesterday, and she said, you know what, I work with a lot of athletes. Let me help this guy out. And she's really improved Christian Longoria this morning. He was saying he was feeling much better. So special thanks to that quick free chiropractic treatment there from Dr. Melissa Harmon.
14.
All right,
There it
there
is,
we
first
go.
game.
Bredenbeck taking game 1, 15-2. Let's see if Longoria can come back and refocus as we re-enter game 2.
Definitely, that is not the standard play from Longoria, I believe. I think he will take a timeout here and recorrect the game.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back with more right after this. And we're back live with our second quarterfinal of the day between Jake Bredenbeck and Christian Longoria. Bredenbeck taking game 1, 15-2. We have our referee, Brent Walters, giving us a bit of a sound test there with the ref mic. All right, these guys are ready to go. Love to see the camaraderie here on the WRT. So many of our players are good friends off and on the court, but when you step out on that court, your mindset changes a little bit. You switch into competitor mode, and these guys get pretty serious. And the first point for Bredenbeck. Joining me on the mic today is Jeremy Best. Thank you, Jeremy, for giving us your professional insights here.
Well, thank you. Can't hardly call it professional, but the best I can.
Hey. Puts Longoria in the service box. There is more racquetball to come. Right after this, we have Andre Parilla versus Sebastian Franco. And at 1 p.m., Alex Cardona versus Jaime Martel. Now, it doesn't look like Longoria was able to switch up his mental focus. I feel like you can just see that in his physical stature right now. He still looks frustrated after game 1.
Yeah. Definitely.
2-0.
There's a warning there given out by our ref, Brent Walters, to Christian Longoria, trying to keep it clean out here on the WRT.
Crowd not too happy with that call.
Nice reach from Bredenbeck.
He gave up there.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of physicality here from Longoria. Hopefully he can refocus. See if he can capitalize on that as he steps into the service box. And
He's definitely rushing his serves here. He's ready to get going.
Yeah, trying to control the pace a little bit. And there's a point for Longoria. I know that's something that Jake often does, is control the pace and the rhythm, so interesting to see Padilla try to take that away.
Yeah.
2-4.
There's a lot of players out there that do it. By the time you barely get in the, ready to return the service, they'll try to serve on you. So you have to put your racket up. Or best thing to do, actually, I found mentally, is to just turn around and look out at the crowd, because that way you're not looking at your opponent. You're not worried about holding your racket up. A lot of times holding your racket up becomes a little bit an annoyance and mentally puts a block in your game. So just turning around and kind of doing the same thing back is your antidote to that methodology.
5 serves 2.
Jake's coming out strong again in game 2. Oh, got himself a great bounce there. Side out.
2 serves 5.
See how Longoria can switch it around now. Like I said, he plays with no fear, so anything can happen. And a point for Longoria.
Three serves 5.
I really think Christian could slow down his service, you know, in between serves and take a little bit of time. He seems to be rushing.
5 serves 3.
That was a little tricky. Both
6 serves
players
3.
looked equally frustrated, I think.
I think Jake's putting some pressure on himself to execute shots that he thinks he can do better than what he's actually doing. I don't think he's actually being pressured by Longoria right now.
6-3.
Yeah, Longoria siding out Bredenbeck pretty well. Needs to
3-6.
score here once he's in the service box. And there he goes. 4 serving 5 in game 2.
4 serves 6.
6. 4-6.
Replay.
Ref's gonna call a replay.
4-6.
Great cutoff right there.
Yeah, then that kind of had a
6
weird
serves
bounce
4.
there in
Yeah.
the corner. Nice serve from Bredenbeck.
7 serves 4.
Second serve.
Yeah, Jake is really rushing the serve in a good way. I think he's trying to control, like you said.
Yeah.
Just does not want Longoria getting any kind of patterns going.
There's 2 in a row for Bredenbeck as he takes the control back here.
8-4. Four serves 8.
Nice get. Ooh. Tough rally there as Jake Bredenbeck running from the front to the back and narrowly avoiding hitting Longoria.
Yeah, that
5
was a
serves
pretty
8.
close call.
Good shot.
Ref's calling it good. That means it's Christian's. Jake trying to
Jake
contain
says,
himself.
"No, it's not.
as
It
he
wasn't a good
disagrees."
shot."
Yeah.
These walls, the bottom inch, I don't know if you can see it, they're angled up on some parts, and it's really hard to tell on some of these shots. You can hit it a half-inch high, and the ball actually jumps up on you.
Now, is that just from, as you said, some of the courts are a little bit older? Is that just kind of the wear and tear?
Yeah, probably, you know, maybe somebody trying to fix it with plaster or this or that. But,
yeah, I know in the last couple months they've done a lot of work here at the Sarasota YMCA. They unfortunately had a fire and then water damage, and
pretty much looks like they've painted and you know, resurfaced the floors.
Yep.
But as far as fixing any of the walls or things
yeah,
like that, I don't think.
Maybe not fixing the actual courts, I guess.
Serve 6.
There's Bredenbeck firing off that serve quickly. And gets the point.
Non-serve 6.
Bredenbeck definitely controlling game 2 here.
Jake is just serving before he calls the score, Brad.
Yeah.
He is. Longoria really needs to put his racket up and kind of slow it down.
6 serves 9. Non-6.
It's going to be a point.
Is it?
Oh.
Just going to give him a second serve. Normally that's a point.
Yeah. Actually, Jake checked Longoria, and Longoria, as he was turning his head back,
put the racket up.
Put it racket up. I think the reason Brent went ahead along with that is because Jake is very much pressing the rallies, you know, in between quickly by serving too quickly. But in the actual rules, yeah, that would have been a point.
Nice soft hands there from Longoria, as we've seen in our previous match as well between Horn and Herrera. We were talking a little bit earlier about the courts. Jeremy, can you tell those who are just tuning in a little bit about your analysis of the courts here at the Sarasota YMCA?
Well, the courts are fast, but they're heavily slowed down with the type of wood flooring that's here installed, and of course the recently, you know, newly updated. They basically put a new application on the floor, urethane, so the ball it just grabs. So you know, a ball that might normally, you know, travel a little faster is being slowed down in this particular tournament. It is concrete, so you go gets a good bounce.
Oof. Nice shot
I actually
there
thought
from
that skipped.
Longoria.
7 serves 10.
Close ball, very close.
Longoria with a couple nice shots there in a row, jamming Jake up against that back glass. Gives him a point, and he's now within 2 of tying up game 2. Some of that
he's done a great job.
resiliency.
Yeah, just
8 serves 10.
just worn it out. Just a little point there. Just coming back to a tie. See if he can keep it up.
Big server for one of our younger, smaller players, I would say.
Yeah, Christian definitely has a unique style of hitting.
10 serves 8.
He whips the ball very, very fast. He uses a lot of wrist. And if you notice, when he serves or when he hits, he keeps his feet closely together. I think probably in the future with a coach that might be reversed to more of a wider stance, which would generate a little more power. But at this moment, it's working for him. But I think, you know, in the long run, he'll probably want to widen his feet and get a little more squatted down on his stances for better, more consistent shot making.
12 serves 8.
2 points in a row there for Bredenbeck, making it 12-8 and a 4-point lead. Bredenbeck in a stronger position. as Longoria sides him out.
8 serves 12.
Bredenbeck pumping himself
12
up
serves
here,
8.
going for 13. Ooh.
Replay.
These two get tangled up a little bit there. That'll be a replay.
12 serves 8.
Tough rally here in game 2 as these guys are working pretty hard out there. Pretty much drenched in sweat. It is hot and humid also down here in Sarasota, Florida, where it's been raining all weekend, almost ironically, for our Suncoast Open event.
Yeah, definitely. Sunny Florida.
All right.
This is pretty much the rainy tropical hurricane seasons right now.
Yeah.
So it'll last probably up through about December. And then it gets, cold pretty well. Does not rain a whole lot during the winter. Although in Atlanta, it's the opposite. There's very little rain through the summer, and it just rains and rains and rains from about, September, October, all the way through the winter. Very interesting differences, but just 600 miles.
Yeah. Coming from California, I am grateful to see some rain. We don't see it barely ever. All right. Here's Longoria now in the service box. These two have been locked at 8-12 and 12-8 for quite some time. Let's see if Longoria can switch that up. Yes, sir. Oh, looked like I was almost going to make it and throw Jake off there up there.
Yeah, it was very close.
Nice get from Bredenbeck.
He's getting a lot of balls back, but I would like to see Christian put the balls down a little bit better. He's getting plenty of setups and opportunities to execute, but he's kind of failing to do that, which is keeping Jake in the rallies.
Well, let's see if Longoria can switch it up here with this timeout. We'll be right back after this. And we're back in game 2 of our second quarterfinal of the day between Bredenbeck and Longoria. Coming up right after this, we have Andre Parilla versus Sebastian Franco. And at 1 p.m., Alex Cardona versus Jaime Martel. So there's lots more racquetball to come here today at the 2015 WRT Suncoast Open. Of course, we would like to thank our supporting and presenting sponsor, Gearbox Racquetball. Both Longoria and Bredenbeck are sponsored by Gearbox. If you want to check out their rackets and the gear that they're wearing, go to gearboxrb.com. Plus, for those of you watching, if you share the link of our live streaming on your Facebook and Twitter page and tag World R-Ball Tour, we'll go ahead and automatically enter you to win a free Gearbox giveaway. So you don't want to miss that opportunity for some free Gearbox swag. So go ahead and share the link and help the WRT grow the sport of racquetball. Here we go with more of Game 2. I'm Laura McCormick, and Jeremy Best is joining me on the mic. Ooh. And Longoria, after that timeout, with an ace serve against Bredenbeck. Finally moving the score here. These two were tied up at 12-8 for quite some time.
Just routine shots here that Longoria is missing.
Now, do you think
Well,
some
serves
of that, I mean, he has a lot of experience as a youth, but
Yeah.
do you think it's the experience and the mental combination a little bit?
Could be pressure, could be a little bit of mechanics, maybe footwork, but definitely just a lot of routine shots that he's missing that would make a barely big, I think a pretty big difference in this match. He's had a number of shots and setups that he should be.
Nice get by
Prime
Bredenbeck.
example right here. Longoria had a completely easy forehand setup there with Jake on his backside with the hole down the line to the forehand.
13
Should have been an
serves
easy
9.
execution, and he put a little bit too much on it. It came off the back wall. It's a
Nice
great shot.
shot. And Bredenbeck now
14
with
serves
his
9.
first match point. Longoria is not going down that easy as he sides out Bredenbeck and holds on in game 2. Bredenbeck just kind of wiping off his glasses there. It is pretty hot in those
serves
courts.
14.
Ooh,
Point.
there's a
Ooh.
point. It's frustrating for Bredenbeck.
10 serves 14.
Second serve.
The ball really took a funny bounce off the serve. Oh, that's what it was.
Oh, wow.
Broke his strings.
Longoria broke his strings. He's going to go ahead and take a quick equipment timeout. Looks like we're going to keep it right here. Jeremy, you've been giving some great insight here all weekend. I know you're playing more tour stops as well this year, but do you coach at all? Have you considered coaching?
I actually do coach. I have a number of students that I've been working with, and not necessarily toot my own horn, but it's proven to be that I have kind of a good talent to do it, and a lot of my students are really happy. I work a lot on mechanics, and I probably teach more than I do. But I do know the fundamentals of the game and what it takes to be a top player.
Well, that's great. It's nice you can give back to the sport too, and
Yeah.
help those youngsters as they get out there and start playing more racquetball. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, it seems one of the biggest things right now in racquetball would
10
be
serves 14.
mechanics and footwork are just huge. You find a lot of players that great serve.
Ooh, wow.
Great rally. A lot of players just have so many variables in their swings these days that are just making their swing slower, less powerful, more prone to injury.
11 serves 14.
And it's something that people need to really take in consideration about making the most easy, most effective, injury, not injury prone basically, with power effortlessly. And when doing that, it just rises your game so much. And
12 serves 14.
Well, I wish you the best of luck as you continue to coach those youngsters, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing you more here on the WRT too. Ooh, nice touch from Longoria.
oh,
Wow. I don't know what he did in the last couple points, but Longoria just attacking the ball. There's a second
14 serves
match
12.
point opportunity for Bredenbeck.
there we go. Raising the racket.
Oh, and a broken ball.
For a player who hits hard, getting a new ball is one of the best things that can happen.
Yeah. What's
Especially-
different about it? Just the way it bounces or the...
Whenever you train, a lot of times if you train with new balls, you get accustomed to the way they bounce. And I know for me, an older ball, I can't drive serve as well as then with a newer ball because I train with new balls. So it definitely helps your percentages and rises your
14 serves
gameplay.
12.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like having a new string job versus an old one.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how he plays here. Oh,
Wow.
wow. Well, and then he ends it on an ace. That means Bredenbeck wins the match against Christian Longoria, and he'll be playing David Horn. Later tonight in the semifinals, we're going to go down on the court and get some of Bredenbeck's thoughts. I'd like to thank Jeremy Best for joining me.
Thank you, guys.
That means you're supposed to clap. You're just going to clap for them. There you go. Thank you. Let's bring Jake Bredenbeck out here and get some thoughts from the champ. Congratulations, Jake. This means you'll be moving on to the semifinals tonight against David Horn. What are your thoughts on playing Longoria? It started to put the pressure on you pretty hard in game 2. How did you handle that?
First game, I don't think either of us felt very comfortable. He was missing a lot of shots, so I got lucky there. Second game, he started playing better. And, I mean, he's a good player, so I knew that was coming. So just got to try and stick with my game plan. I was missing my shots, so got to get that together for tonight. But other than that, I got the win, and that's what matters.
So you faced David Horn a couple times before. We had a picture up on social media of the two of you looking for the rematch. What are your thoughts going against Horn, who's watching there in the stands?
Yeah, Bobby and I always have battles. Look forward to another one tonight. I got him last week, so hopefully I can keep that momentum going. But should be a good match as always, and hope you guys tune in and stay tuned for we got 2 more good quarterfinals coming. And just want to say thanks to Rafa and Gearbox for sponsoring me and a lot of the players here, and Pablo for putting on this event and all the local sponsors here. It's awesome to be in Florida. So thank all you guys, and thanks everyone who's watching at home.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, Jake. We'll see you later. Don't go anywhere. There's more racquetball coming up. We have Andre Parilla versus Sebastian Franco.